All right, let's do it. The road to the college football playoffs. It's Michigan's turn. Not only do I think that this is Jim Harbaugh's best team, I think that this team should be maybe slightly under USC, one of the biggest favorites to win the national championship. So let's go ahead and get started for the reason of optimism. Reason for optimism: this is one of Jim Harbaugh's best teams, and they've made the college football playoffs the past 2 years. They have the best quarterback in J.J. McCarthy, the best running back core in the nation with Blake Corum and D. Edwards. Cornelius Johnson, their leading receiver from last year, is back. There was the emergence of the weapons of Wilson and Loveland. You have elite offensive line play that was solidified by the transfers from Stanford. What's not to like about this team, especially offensively? I would say the cause of concern would be their defensive line. They lost Mike Morris and Mozzie Smith to the draft, but Michigan low-key has been a factory at pumping out defensive linemen. They had Morris and Mozzie Smith last year. They had Hutchinson and Ojabo the year before, Kwity Paye the year before that, Josh Uche, Rashawn Gary, Winovich. The list just goes on and on. They have been a low-key factory of bringing out pass rushers to the NFL. So maybe, they strike gold again with guys like Chris Jenkins Jr., who's bulked up. I remember Chris Jenkins Sr., I'm just getting old. Braden McGeiger and Jalen Harrell. Maybe one of these guys steps up and becomes the next guy. I mean, they've just been a factory and pumping these guys out. So that's definitely a cause of concern, but their track record will lead you to believe that they'll be all right. If you look at their schedule, the schedule is pretty cush. They have 4 road games where they possibly could slip up versus Nebraska, versus a Maryland team that's under Coach Loxley that always plays guys tough, and they have Tua's brother, the younger Tagovailoa coming back, Minnesota, roll the boat, and Michigan State, a Michigan State team who wasn't really the strongest last year and kind of got boxed by Michigan, is going to be looking for some payback in this series. So, those 4 games might be a concern. Nebraska under Matt Rule, he's going to pull out all the stops to try to win a marquee game early. But I think that they actually match up pretty well with these teams, and I don't think that they'll have any problem. They play Penn State on the road. I wouldn't lump Penn State with these 4 teams because this is a team with Drew Aller and with their defense under Manny Diaz that is a contender for the college football playoffs. They match up pretty well with Penn State as well. Penn State is pretty light up front, and Michigan wants to run the ball straight at you. So even last year when they were giving teams like Ohio State issues, Michigan handled them pretty easily. And then finally, the Ohio State game. Ohio State's still trying to figure out their quarterback position. Michigan's going for 3 in a row, and I think they probably get it. Jim Harbaugh had, some choice words for Ryan Day, and Ryan Day, he's only lost to Jim Harbaugh in the Big Ten, which is probably going to change with USC coming in next year. But I like Michigan in that game as well. So I'm going to go to prediction. I think they should definitely be one of the favorites for the college football playoffs. I think they have a great chance. I think there'll probably be 2 to 3 new teams in the college football playoffs this year. So they're going to have the experience advantage over these other teams. I think last year they had a great opportunity to win the whole thing. I think that they kind of made mistakes in the way that they approached the game, especially running the ball so much versus TCU when they could have thrown the ball and found a lot of success throwing the ball, and they were too late to turn to that passing game. But I think that this is a better team. I think they're going to take those experiences and that tough loss last year, put that as a chip on their shoulder, and I think they'll definitely make at least the championship game this year. All right, let me know what you think. Leave me a comment, subscribe, and as always, the game is a game.